I'm getting ready to put masking fluid on this Yupo paper on my pencil drawing here, and I like using the Winsor & Newton art masking fluid. It's on my Blick U list. I've been using this product, this particular brand, for a long time, and I like the results that I get with it. I like to put my masking fluid in a smaller bottle. This is just one of those little jars that you get in the gift baskets, and because the more you open your masking fluid bottle, the more thick it will get, the more it will dry out. So I like to put a little bit in a small jar, and then even sometimes if it does get thicker, add a little bit of water to it to thin it down, just a little bit. And then I like to have another jar here with just water in it. I use an incredible nib. This one I've had for about 40 years. They still sell them. I've got them on my Blick U list. And it's got sort of a wooden point. Instead of using a brush, the masking fluid will quickly ruin any brush, and so I like using the incredible nib. It's got a chisel point, a thicker end for applying more masking, and it's got a thin point to it for fine work. And if you thin your masking out, it will flow easier. You may not need to right away. I've had this bottle of masking fluid for several years, and as it sits, it will thicken. So if you put it into a smaller jar, you're not constantly opening and closing it, and it will stay nice and pliable for a longer period of time. So, as I said, first I dip it into my plain water, the incredible nib, and then I would dip it into my masking fluid. Now, one thing to remember when you're using masking fluid, always start and just keep going, because if you go back into a tacky area, you're going to pull up the masking. So it's good if you can just start and just sort of in a line, keep going. So I'm going to just outline some of the area that I'm going to be working with first with the nib, and I'm just going to continue in one line as much as I can throughout. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to actually mask in the whole flower head. When I do that, I'm going to probably mostly use the thicker end. But first I'm going to go and I'm going to outline all around my artwork. So I'm going to start up here and I'm going to go on the outside of my artwork on this. And I kind of dab it on. Kind of move along. I'm going to turn this so I can get over here to this side easier. Okay, one more leaf. Then I'm ready to go into the actual blooms on the flowers. Now I'm going to take and dip my incredible nib in my water, and I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to get that masking fluid off of the end of my tool so that it doesn't dry there too much. I'm going to try to clean that off the best I can for right now. Coming back in my water here. It's got some masking fluid in. You can see it's a little cloudy. I'm coming back into my water, and I'm going to pick up with my big end. I'm just going to come in here and flood on this masking fluid. Just bring it right up to the edge. I'm going to stamp the background on, and then I'm going to peel the areas that I have for the flowers, and I'm going to then paint them after the background has been stamped on. You can do it a lot of different ways. You just kind of have to make a plan and go with it. Stick with your plan. See how it works out. I'm going to do the stem here too. And here, using this thicker end, and it's going pretty quickly with that thicker end. As I get to the edge of the flower, I'm using the point. On second thought here, I think I'm going to mask out these leaves because I want to just come in here and stamp on the background first. And I don't want to have to worry about the leaves. It's going to be a lot quicker if I just come in here and mask these out. See, I'm turning my paper as I'm working so that it allows me to get a better angle to the area that I'm working on. I'm working as quickly as I can because, as I said, if I go into this half-dry area, I'm liable to kind of pick up the masking as the wet masking. See that? Okay, so right there is a demonstration of what will happen when you go into half-dry masking with wet masking. It will pick it up. So that's why it's good to kind of try to work in a line and try to just keep going with the wet masking. So I'm going to let that dry. You can dry this with a hairdryer. Just don't get too close to it and don't let it get too hot. And be careful that you don't blow the masking around. Now again, I'm going into my clean water and I'm going to clean off my nib. Now that I'm done with it, I will take it over to the sink and I will use soapy water and I will clean off this nib. Okay, I think that's enough of that for now.